Welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your coach, Reynoso, here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
Welcome back to the show, folks. Today we're going to be reviewing Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid, where we had a Julian Alvarez Panenka to give Atleti the lead 1-0, but then ultimately Mbappe ties the match to make it 1-1 for Real Madrid. I see you wearing the Atletico Madrid jersey right now, and so I'm curious to know your attitude after this result. Is this ultimately a positive point here for Atletico Madrid?
Real Madrid are getting gaslit, bro. Gaslit. La Liga, the officiating team in La Liga, are telling Madrid that the officiating's fair. The calls are completely fair. And then penalties like today happen. It's not a penalty. In no era of football is that ever a penalty, bro. I can't believe it. When the referee went to the monitor to check, I was like, what is he checking here? I didn't see absolutely anything. And the more that I saw it, the more that they played it over and over again, I just couldn't help but laugh, bro. I just started laughing my ass off because it's a joke call. A joke call. It's not a penalty, and I can't believe it, but Alvarez steps up, a nice little cheeky finish. Atletico get the goal there, but my goodness, if I'm a Madridista, I am pissed at that call.
That penalty call was very interesting because we're in the midst right now of a season called cuffing season in human nature, you know? And in the same way, I believe that we're in the soft penalty season of the year because it seems like every time we're having a shoot, I'm talking about a soft penalty being called. The thing is with this one, bro, I agree. The more I saw it, Samuelino completely misses his touch without Tchouaméni playing a role in that, and the foul doesn't take place until after the ball has reached a different Atleti player, and Tchouaméni just follows through with the step in. I thought it was a very, very harsh call, and I agree. People were saying that because it's the modern era of football with VAR, you call that penalty, but even then, bro, I was like, I don't think you do,
No,
man.
you don't.
Because Tchouaméni did not make a mistake in terms of what was happening in the moment. He did not impact Samuelino's touch one way or another. If Samuelino had received the ball and controlled it, maybe then, but that follow-through was just unfortunate in my opinion, and Tchouaméni gets called for the penalty, and then Julian Alvarez steps up. That's how the game starts, with Atletico Madrid taking the lead at the Santiago Bernabeu.
It's just not a penalty. I'm sorry. I can't agree with anybody who says that it can be called. And I'm so disappointed because this was first against second place in La Liga, the biggest game of the season. And that's what gets called, bro. That just can't happen in any league. If you call yourself one of the most competitive leagues in the world and you have all eyes watching you, you cannot make that call. So I'm very disappointed in all the officiating of La Liga. The fact that they just allow this to happen, I think needs to be looked at. It needs to be investigated. This is coming from an Atletico fan because I want to win fair and square, bro. In my opinion, we got very lucky because of that call. And I don't want to look back on the season and say, okay, that penalty call maybe ends up being the difference between silverware or not. Luckily, there's a lot more football left to be played, but I hate that that's how we got that goal in this game.
Even then, with this penalty call, I was more so interested to see how Real Madrid responds, because it's a tough spot. You're at home 1-0, title race on the line, and sure, this is a bad call, but you still got to deal with it. You're down 1-0, you got to deal with it, you got to get a result, you got to get back into the match. And I thought in the second half, they were much more positive after what I saw in the first half. They started becoming much more offensive. Rodrigo and Vini Jr. started imposing themselves on the wings, and eventually it was Mbappe who got on the board with a rebound goal off of a block to make it 1-1. And it became a very interesting match after that, because Atleti even then had their moments of opportunities where on the counter it felt very, very open. But I would like to highlight for Real Madrid, Fran Garcia, I thought had an incredible game today, with the spirit of Marcelo's retiring soul, emulating him in that left back position. I thought he was incredible today, and Asensio was very good too. I thought in that center back position, as they deal with a lot of injuries, they kind of held the fort at the very end of the day. They held the line and kept it close so that Real Madrid could get back into this match, and Mbappe could get that equalizer to make it 1-1.
I'm going to be critical of Madrid here, though. You have Marcelo in the stands, a legend, a guy who wouldn't be happy with this type of draw. You're at home, make a statement, get the win against your city rivals. The amount of trophies y'all have won over the last couple seasons, the players that you have on the pitch, Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, go win the game.
But that ain't Real Madrid this year, bro.
And that's why
that's why I'm not disappointed.
No, but you should be.
No, it's been like this all year, man.
And that's sad.
Yeah, I think it's
so sad.
I think this game represents the state of La Liga right now, man. Nobody wants the title. At the end of the day, nobody wants it, man, because the biggest winner ends up being Barca somehow.
Somehow.
And even then, if they win their game in hand, I believe they'll be 2 points behind of Atletico. But my takeaway after this game was, I don't know who wants La Liga, bro. I really don't.
Yeah. And I want to go back to Madrid here. 60% possession, 23 goal attempts, 9 shots on goal. They hit the woodwork, right? That was after they equalized. And I thought that they were going to finally break the deadlock and get a second goal. But for Madrid, this is just so disappointing considering the firepower. And looking at how they've played, you just said it. It's been like this all season. And I think at a certain point, we have to blame Ancelotti. How is he not changing the pattern that Madrid consistently show week in, week out? The displays are always underwhelming from an offensive perspective for Madrid. And it can't be when you have the best winger in the world in Vinicius, probably the best attacking mid from a goal-scoring perspective in Bellingham, and just one of the best forwards in the world in Kylian Mbappe. And then you still have Rodrigo. Yeah. You still have that. And I understand the defensive injury crisis that Madrid is going through right now. Sure, you can't be as strong defensively. Here's the thing. They actually did very well defensively today. You already said it. Asensio and Fran Garcia were pretty much perfect today. And it's the reason why Atletico could only score from the spot. So for me, Madrid's offense really let down the entire Madrid fan base, the entire fans that were in that stadium today, because they should have gone on to win this game. Yeah. And I'm very disappointed that at the end of the day, what they give is this type of lackluster performance. I just don't think you can be happy with this draw. I'm going to get to Atletico in a second because ultimately this is a very good point and result for Atletico. And yes, we have one of the best defenses in the league, but for Real Madrid, this is basically a loss. You can't be happy with a 1-1 draw at home.
And I agree with those aspects. I really do, because I thought the defense was great, and I wanted to highlight that because of the injury crisis that they have right now. That deserves to be given credit. If their defense can keep in them games, then you would expect for the offense to then do their part. And that's why I'm frustrated with the offense. But I think my biggest criticism has to be that midfield, bro. And that's why I think Ancelotti hasn't been able to figure it out because of absences like Toni Kroos, man. Like, he was a solidified midfielder for him all of last year that guided them to that UEFA Champions League final, playing 10 out of 10 consistent performances. Now you have Dani Ceballos in the midfield trying to figure it out for you. Get subbed off at one point. The kid's got it hard, but he's never had the technical skill to live up to that Real Madrid midfield position that we've seen other legends occupy. Valverde is working his ass off. He is. And I really like Valverde this entire year, but it's tough. It's tough, the responsibility that's put on him and how much work he has to do for himself. And then other guys like, Modric comes in and out. He's just getting really old. Yeah. Camavinga hasn't found a way to solidify consistency in the midfield either. I feel like they're just really missing a midfield general that controls the game and facilitates the offense, makes their job easier. Granted, they should be doing a lot better, but I think a lot of the mistakes we're seeing offensively do come from a lackluster midfield that Ancelotti hasn't been able to figure out.
Yeah, no, great point. And to add on to that, I think the front three, their chemistry is just not there. I've been saying it every single time Madrid dropped points, and today it became so apparent there's just no chemistry between these guys, man. And I actually blaming Ancelotti here too. How many times, go back, watch the footage, how many times did Vinicius choose to go inside rather than just stay out on the wing? I was shocked because last year, Vinicius' most deadly moments when he was touching the sideline, waiting to be released off of a really good pass. Maybe the midfield's not there to release him anymore, but either way, his most dangerous moments is when he's isolated, when he can go one-on-one, when we can run into space. But Vinicius was damn near a number 9 today. I didn't understand it. Also, Rodrigo, there was no width in Real Madrid's front line. It's just Vinicius in the center, Rodrigo in the center, Mbappe in the center, Bellingham in the center. Use the width, stretch out Atletico's defense. So I'm actually putting a lot of the blame on Ancelotti for not changing what's happening with Real Madrid's offense. There's no chemistry, there's no fluidity in the midfield, and you get a result like this where, yes, they had a lot of the ball, they had all of the action, but couldn't get any real goal-scoring opportunities.
Yeah, that's why when this game ended, I had to ask myself, did Atletico deserve this point? Because I do feel like a big That was a pretty lucky point to get here, man.
Yeah.
Really, that Santiago Bernabeu. Real Madrid, when it comes to facing their two biggest rivals this entire season, they played Atletico for the second time now. They failed to beat either Barca or Real Madrid this entire year. And that's crazy coming from the team that's leading the title at the moment.
Yeah.
And Atletico at the same time gets an important result here to keep themselves in the race, keep themselves within punching distance. I think it's a massive point, man. A massive point for Atleti that whether it was luck or not, they do it. They get the job done the way that they have all year. You know, in a way overachieving beyond what I expected out of them, but pulling off the job and keeping themselves within punching distance to cause some danger in that title race right now.
This was actually a great performance from Atletico, and it's becoming vintage at this point. We're probably the most consistent side in La Liga as far as how we perform on a week-to-week basis, and it's why I think you can say Atletico did deserve the point. Luck was definitely involved with that penalty call. Don't get me wrong. But we deserve this considering how we've played all season long. We've built up to this to be able to get a crucial point. And it's all come down to, and I just can't believe it, but it makes sense. Diego Simeone has designed the most conservative yet effective style of football in the modern game. It's ridiculous how efficient Atletico is, but conservative is what we are first and foremost. And let's just quickly break it down. I mean, first off, you have Jan Oblak, one of the best goalkeepers.
What a performance today.
And what a performance today. Zero hesitancy, zero nonsense. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It's what you need to have a really good back line, guiding that back line. Chema Jimenez, Longley, fantastic. They've actually been great all season long, whether it's Longley or Lenormand. Hell, even Witzel's been pretty good. But it's the discipline in that back line that really shines when Atletico play. We rarely make mistakes at the back. But then you go out to the fullback positions, it's defense first. But not only that, we couple it with marathon runners, man. Javi Galan and Llorente, dude, they make 90-yard sprints 10 times a game. Yep. And the 10th sprint is no different from their first sprint. In every single 90 minutes that they play, they have so much energy, and Simeone exploits the hell out of that. We're able to just run up and down. And when our opponent has the ball, dude, we just have a back seven. We have a back seven. Our wingers aren't really wingers. They're just fullbacks in an extended position. So we basically have two fullbacks on the left side, two fullbacks on the right side, and we just defend like crazy. And then we have the athleticism, once we win the ball, to just immediately hit out. Get the ball to Griezmann, make a run on the right or left-hand side, and then Julian Alvarez is there in the middle to receive a cross. It's just like clockwork every single time Atleti play. And so we're so consistent in that. This draw is completely deserved. Simeone is one of the best coaches in the modern game.
And that's what I think La Liga's coming down to at the end of the day, is the coaching positions for each of the top three clubs in Spain. Who can do the best job?
Damn.
Because Hansi Flick, the way he started off the year, first 2 months, he got everything right, and it was deserved, and he was leading the table at 8-9 points. Then he loses that mojo. Diego Simeone takes over with his consistency and everything you just mentioned, brings Atletico into the title race, and then as of recently, Carlo Ancelotti has kind of figured things out with Mbappe in his form, at least up front, and so you see that get rewarded, but now it's just going back and forth with what we're seeing. I think that's what it's going to come down to, bro. Who can outcoach the other coaches in Spain to win La Liga? Because when it comes to talent, when it comes to the players, I just don't see a team in La Liga this year reaching a peak like what we saw at Real Madrid last year, or just what we're seeing out of the other teams outside of Spain at the moment. I just don't see it with the inconsistency for Real Madrid and Barcelona, and the consistency for Atletico, but the limitation that they have on them, because that's my BSM with Atletico is Atletico at their best obviously isn't, you know, a top 2-3 team in the world, whereas Real Madrid, Barca are. It's just a consistency, man. They are able to get these results so well, and everybody's so well drilled at the moment. It might just result in Atletico Madrid winning the title because of how poor the other two teams have been week in, week out.
And that's the conclusion I come to as well, man, is I think Atletico have a very good chance to win the title. And I think it became clear for me when that Bayer Leverkusen game, when we basically did the same thing. We just beat Bayer Leverkusen, not with our offense, but with our defense.
Yeah.
Our defense is so consistently good that it lends to us being clinical. It lends to us catching our opponents off guard, just like we did today, essentially. And honestly, if we had our shooting boots on today, we would have stolen this game yet again.
Yeah.
We really would have. Yeah. That's the crazy part, bro. Even though we only had 10 shots, Madrid had double our shots on target. Atletico probably could have scored a second goal. And that's what's scary about this Atleti side if you're facing them. There's always a chance, and it's down to Simeone, bro.
Yeah.
He's designed this team perfectly. And right now, he's out coaching Ancelotti for me. Right now, he's out coaching Hansi Flick, as you perfectly described, man. So the way I see it now, I think Atletico have a 40% chance. I think Madrid have a 40% chance. I think it's literally even.
Barca at 20?
And Barca at... Okay, how about this?
Let's change it up.
Well, actually, no, 20%.
They have a game in hand. If they win it, they're 1 point behind Atleti.
Okay. So then something like
35,
30. Yeah.
Damn.
I think it's neck and neck between the big three in Spain right now.
So, man, which does make for a really entertaining end to the title race. I will say that. I will, but I just it's been so baffling seeing who has not wanted to maintain that consistency up top and go on to win the title, because the opportunity has been there for all three teams now, man. I was looking at the table the other day, bro, and there's something crazy that I saw. Barca in third place has scored 60 goals this year.
Yeah.
Atleti 38.
Yeah.
And they're above them.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's why I'm not going to give Atletico the majority of them going on to win the title. I really think to win a top league, so the top 5 in Europe, you have to have both an effective offense and an effective defense. I wouldn't call our offense effective. I would call it clinical. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think Atletico's still missing something. But as you've already said as well, both Madrid and Barcelona are missing very key aspects to their game. That's why it's wide open. It's why it's wide open, bro.
I want to, for the sake of archiving, I want us to make our picks 23 games into the year. As of now, who do you have winning La Liga?
Damn. I think I'm still going to say Real Madrid. I really do. But Atletico's going to be right there. I think they have the same percentage to win it.
Oh, man. I want to say Barca, but
Barca could.
I just don't trust them, bro. I don't trust them against Leganes. I don't trust them. That's what worries me. It's not how they play against Atleti or against Real Madrid. It's how they'll play against, 15 to 20th place ranked teams is what worries me. I want to say Atletico because, bro, I really do believe Diego Simeone this year is on the equivalent of coaching crack right now. Like, he's on seeing some crazy shit, because you mentioned how well the defense has been playing, but when you really look at it from the outside, the names you're naming are pretty crazy. Like Lenglet, Chema Jimenez, Llorente playing as disciplined and as consistent as they have been is ridiculous. I mean, that's why they left their big clubs, or at least like Lenglet, for example, has dropped down from club to club over to Atleti because he hasn't proven himself in other leagues. But now all of a sudden he's back to a really good level, I would say, for him specifically. What Diego Simeone is doing, maxing out his players, is just insane in my opinion. He's doing crazy work right now. But Real Madrid, if they could just get their offense right, then they could probably pretty easily go on to win the league as well. I know I posed the question. I don't know if I want to answer it, man.
It's tough, dude. Seriously, the only reason why I'm saying Madrid is because they were able to tie Atletico even though their offense was shit today. Their offense was shit. But they were still able to get a goal, and they hit the woodwork to nearly win it. I think Madrid will crawl along the finish line. I don't think they're going to win the league in style, bro. Yeah. They're not going to win it in style, but they're going to barely get there. That's the only reason why I'm saying they will.
For story purposes, I want to say Atletico Madrid. That's the team I want to see it.
It'd be so nice.
But I'm actually going to go Barca. I'm going to go Barca here. All they need is Real Madrid to lose or draw one more match and then go on to win their games. I'm gonna bank on Barca finally finding that form in La Liga, specifically turning it on, because they have been scoring goals nonstop as of late as well. I just see them having a higher ceiling than Real Madrid, and thus getting the La Liga title race in an improbable comeback, because they dropped pretty low at one point this season in terms of standings. So I'm going Barca, but man, this race is going to be so interesting to watch. And we had another big development today with Real Madrid tying Atletico Madrid 1-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu.